Yes, you. Hi, I'm glad to see you. My name is Ryan. I am RYONBO. That's how I break my name down. So, for today's piece, we have one that we call Siegfried and Ishmael. This painting itself didn't have any particular origin, it was just something that happened on the whim one day. So, I was at university when this happened. I didn't even do this during my final year, and I've been out of school for a little over 2 years now. So it's been quite a while. And it took a while for me to find the courage to actually take this from a simple sketch that I did in someone's sketchbook to something that brought along some sort of life on its own. So, origins. I got this idea from a animation lab at UTech. You might not know it, but in Jamaica it's a reputable and somewhat infamously known university, depending on who you ask. They're known for producing many champions. They're known for producing other types of people, but that's beside the point. There's an animation lab that I would at the time often sneak off to when I'm finished with the work that I had to do in the program I was registered for in another faculty. I was pursuing an education degree, but I liked art, I liked drawing, I liked cartoons and animation and such. So when my work was done, I often found myself over there out of pure interest. So I went from being a stranger to getting along with the people in the program, to speaking to some of the lecturers, to sneaking in some of the classes, but you didn't hear that from me. What I would do sometimes is, because I like to draw somewhat, I would sometimes find myself doing drawings, illustrations, and such. Then I would bring them to different lecturers there that I could ask for advice if they had the time, when they had the time. And there just so happened to be a particular set that I could always go and ask about stuff when many of the students weren't really available. But that's fine. So, one particular day in one of these labs, I picked up someone's sketchbook and I did 2 sets of doodles. The first one is something that you can find earlier on this channel, but the next one is what you see here before you. So mind you, I don't really have the original sketch anymore, but as you watch through this speed paint, you will catch glimpses. You'll catch a glimpse of what the paper looked like and where I took the original idea from. Details. So anyway, I brought it into the painting program you see here, Clip Studio Paint, using a scanner called the let me see this thing. The Canon Scan Lid 210, I believe. It's an older flatbed scanner produced by Canon. It runs on USB power. But it's very dependable and it's very durable. It's lasted me since 2017. So we're looking at almost 5.5 years now, up to the time of this video. But enough of those little details. Siegfried and Ishmael. Siegfried was nothing in particular that came to mind. I just thought, hey, I don't really draw muscles that often. Let me try something kinda top heavy, similar to Dave from Dave the Barbarian, that cartoon from Disney, but not as muscular, just noticeably muscular, somewhat modern, peaceful, calm, a little curious. My idea for him was for him to have wild, somewhat unkempt hair, a plain shirt, and a pair of jeans. That seemed fine to me. Ishmael, no. I have somewhat of an affinity for drawing female characters. Girls, women, you name it. I put more thought into her, I'll be honest with you. So, her design was aspired from someone I saw whom I thought I liked but didn't really like. Was fairly attractive, but it was neither here nor there very much for me. I lost interest anyway. But I used her as a reference and I will never say who it was. Yeah, I'll never say who it was. So, my original concept for her was a girl whose ancestors came from Israel. So, the name Ishmael I got from Ishmael, Mael. I just replaced the E with another A. So I made sure to spell it wrong on purpose, so I could use it for an interesting dialogue. Something like, "So, Ishmael, why did your mother give you that name?" "Because she's a dork." "But that's not very kind of you." "She's a dork, but she's my dork and I love her." And I thought, that's adorable. I can put a character like that and make her into something. This was my second iteration of her right here, ever. My first iteration of her can be found way back again in another painting I did where she was more timid and weak in the knees and such. But here I made her more confident. Not so much robust, but confident. I portray her to be outspoken, but I never fully decided if that's something I wanted her personality to be. So I have the two of them here on a particular day. I have the idea I used in the Bible here at one point. I was going for a particular verse from the King James that I was reading, but it's been so long that I didn't remember exactly what I was going for, and I didn't want to lie to myself, so I decided to leave it there until I decided to do something with it, which I haven't quite done as yet, but I leave the inspiration there as a reminder. My original intent was to give her a shorter skirt, but that seemed counterintuitive to me based on what I was going for. So I tried to make it a little longer, and I left that as is. Just a little more modest. Somewhat modern, but a little more modest than I would normally see. And that's fine. So I took the original sketch in and I brought it into Clip Studio. I used a certain size canvas. I don't particularly remember which one I used. Let me see if I can see it here. I cannot. I believe it was fairly large. And then I just imported the image into it so I could overlay it as a starting point. From there, I would bring the figures down and use it to low-key establish perspective without really drawing it in. Yeah, that was something I shouldn't have really done on my part. I should have probably drawn it in so I could have kept track of some of the things. But it's what you learn as an artist as you go on. The more you see these mistakes and try to learn from them, the better off you'll be. And then I slowly took my time to pencil in things like like the sidewalk and the bushes. And I'd normally get lazy with the colors and the texturing because I just go from things that aren't as saturated. Sometimes I use the gradient tool. Sometimes I try to do things simplistically, in a simplistic manner, like I'm trying to do cell shading, but sometimes I wish I could do a more detailed work, but my brain hasn't been very patient with the rate at which I've been learning to do these illustrations. And it's one of the things I'm trying to work on. And that's okay as well. I didn't do too well on the hair. It feels particularly stiff. It was okay, but it was particularly stiff based on what I know now. What else again? There wasn't really much else to it, honestly. And by the time I completed the initial line art, I didn't need the sketch anymore, so it was kind of gone with the wind. It's an interesting experience. My my workflow has been piss poor because it's not particularly consistent as yet because I'm learning as I go. I think it's like that with many others, but I believe mine is a little bit too chaotic for my own good because I want to get to a certain point and I'm not taking time with certain things and I'm rushing others. So it probably feels synthetic, like I'm trying to draw essence from inanimate objects or abstract thoughts that have no particular rhythm or rhyme to them. It's a habit I need to break out of, but it's okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Siegfried and Ishmael talking to the people on a not so particular day. If you've made it this far into my ramblings, I really appreciate it. I'm just going to take these videos as a means of trying to relax instead of worrying about how I'll sound when I record my voice to do these speed paintings. Sometimes I might not even record my voice at all and just let it play as is, but who knows? And with that, I'd like to thank you all for listening, and I'll see you all again.